Hello, and welcome to A Time to Think and a Moment to Pray. This is a program that helps you discover meaningful living through critical thinking. So let's get started with today's host, Nico. Hello, and welcome to A Time to Think and a Moment to Pray. I'm your host, Nico, and let's get started with today's program. Now, today, I just want to encourage your heart. So the other day I was watching the news. I try not to watch the news too much because it's pretty crazy right now, especially with the elections coming up, all the craziness on the left, the right, the center, and everywhere else. It's just pretty crazy. And as I was watching the news, I really enjoy watching international news as well. I like to know what's going on around the world and in different areas. And also I like to see and compare that with what's going on in our country here in America. And I was watching the news, the international news, and it was extremely depressing. The different protests, the different things that are going on within the different governments and government corruption and just the violence, all the craziness. And it's not just in our country, but it's all over the place, all these crazy things happening. And, you know, my heart, it just really hit my heart and it's hurting my heart. Because we're living in some crazy times, but we're also living in some exciting times. There's no better time than now to be preaching the gospel, to be going out and ministering to people, the hurting people all over the place. People are afraid. People don't want to go out of their homes. People don't want to travel. They are so fearful right now. And not only that, they're not only fearful, but a lot of people are extremely angry. And the anxiety and all the other things that are happening and what people are feeling, it's just amazing. It's crazy, but at the same time, it gives us, the believer, the opportunity to really join God in His activity and begin to minister to these individuals. People need to be ministered to. And so I want to encourage you today. Figure out where God is working in your sphere of existence. Begin to seek the face of God, the heart of God, and begin to join God in His activity. Let us not be fearful about what's going on, because we know the end of the story. We win. The children of God, we win. We inherit eternal life. So we're good to go. And so it's time for us to wake up. We got to wake up. We got to begin to share the good news. We got to begin to go forth, and we got to be excited about life. Yeah, I understand we have to take precautions with the coronavirus and all kinds of other different things. It's not just the coronavirus. There are many other different viruses out there, different diseases, different things. But I think that it's time for us to wake up. And it's time for us to go forth. Now is the time. This is the place. We are the people. We are the people of God who are called to go forth and minister to others, preach the gospel, love on people. They want to see the Lord? Let us show them God in action through our hands, through our eyes, through our mouths, through our ears, through our feet. Let us run to help others. Let us run in worshiping God. You know, the Bible talks about worshiping God. There are two words used to express, worshiping God. And proskunine is one of them. And that's the prostrating yourself, laying out before God, just worshiping Him, really just at this point of worship that you're just giving it your all and you're just totally prostrated out, worshiping God. But then there's this other word, latreia. And it's really talking about worshiping God through the acts of service. And so the question is this: shouldn't we be worshiping God through acts of service? Through acts of raising our hands, praising God, running out, helping another brother or sister, running out, doing something that will further His kingdom. But I'm not just saying doing whatever we want to do, but really I'm communicating joining God in His activity because He's speaking to us. And so we ought to join God in His activity, worshiping Him through the vehicle of service, but joining Him in His service, what He's working on and what He's working in, and us joining, worshiping Him through that service. And so I just want to encourage you. I want to encourage you that it's not over. Don't worry about the craziness, because this too shall pass. I can tell you that. I can guarantee you that. But how do we allow it to pass? How are we living our lives day to day? Are we going to live worshiping Him, excited in what He's bringing to us and how we have the ability to join Him in His activity? Is that how we're going to worship Him? Is that how we're going to spend the time going through this? So as we go through this coronavirus, as we go through this craziness of the election season, are we going to go through it hiding in fear? Are we going to go through it in sadness? Are we going to go through it in anger? Are we going to go through it in hate? Are we going to go through it in frustration? Or are we going to go through it in worshiping God and seeking His face and being joyful in our hope, patient in our afflictions, and faithful in prayer? Are we going to go through this with a heart of thanksgiving? Are we going to go through this counting it all joy whenever we face trials of many kind, knowing that the testing of our faith develops perseverance? Are we going to go through persevering, knowing that it's making us seasoned, that it is encouraging us, that these trials and tribulations, they're molding us into an awesome warrior of God? How are we going to go through this season? I just want to encourage you, friends, to trust in the Lord with all of your heart and seek Him first, His kingdom and His righteousness, knowing that He will never leave you, He will never forsake you, and He has you. Friends, may you take time out today in meaningful moments of prayer, leading you into moments of praise, praising Him, and experiencing Him in moments of power, and resting in Him even through all the craziness in moments of peace.
Thank you for joining us for A Time to Think and a Moment to Pray.
If you have been influenced by this message, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with those who need it. We thank you for watching.
Take care, and may you rest upon the Lord's plan for your life while discovering meaningful living through critical thinking.